welcome back. My name is Andrea, and today I'm going to talk to you all about our plans for homeschooling this summer. Typically, I still am planning on homeschooling year-round, but this summer I am going to take a significant step back and have a lot more free time. My plan for this summer, first of all, something that I'm changing is that I am going to move more to the 3 terms method. It's like what they do here in England, and it's also what Ambleside Online does as well, which is basically you have your school year is set up in 3 terms, and then you have a longish break after all of those terms. I'm not going to do exactly that, but I'm going to kind of do more like a 2-week off at the end of the term, and then we move on to the next, because I still want to be free. When we have family come into town, I want to take that time off, and if we just want to go on a random family vacation, I want to be doing that as well. So I'm not going to be solidly like on the school's terms, but I'm loosely basing my schedule off of 3 terms. So just so that you know. But this summer, my plan is to have a solid morning time. I'm also going to try to get my kids up earlier this summer just to take advantage of the day, So I'm going to get them up a little earlier than I normally do. And we're going to have a morning time. And I figured that it might last about an hour to an hour and a half. And hopefully that's pretty much all of the schoolwork that we'll do during that day or that time. And then we'll add in some incidentals along the way. So what we're planning on doing for morning time is, first of all, Bible reading, but this time instead of reading out of a story Bible. So my daughter at this point will be 7 and my son will be 9 still. We're just going to start reading straight out of the Bible for morning time, and I'm going to read out loud and they will follow along with me. And my son will also probably read aloud with us as well. But we're just going to start reading through the Bible, and we'll each have our own open on our laps, and we'll do that Bible time together. And then we will have a read aloud, and that could be whatever book we choose together. I typically love to read through Narnia in the summertime. I don't know why. I've done it like for the last 2 years. I don't know if I'm going to do that again this year because there's so many other books that I want the kids to hear, but I don't know. We'll do something like that. A classic novel, but one that's just super, super enjoyable for everybody to listen to, including me. And with that read aloud time, we'll do a group narration at the end of it. How that will work is, since my daughter is younger, I'll typically ask her to tell me what happened in the story first. And then my son will fill in the details after she's done, because of course he's going to remember more. He's a bit more articulate and has more of a vocabulary, so he'll fill in the gaps after her, and that usually works. We've been doing that for a long time. When we read aloud, my daughter will go first, and then my son goes, and everybody's happy. So we'll do that. Then for keeping up with our math throughout the summer, what I'm going to do is, I've done these before, these math facts that stick from Kate Snow, and it's from A Well-Trained Mind. Well, I don't know if it's from... Maybe it is from the World. Yeah, it's Well-Trained Mind is on both of these. We did addition facts that stick last summer, and so this summer I'm going to do subtraction facts that stick with my daughter. But the fun thing about this is my son actually loves to do it with her, and so they'll do the games together. Frankly, these are the pages of work. That's the amount of problems that she has to solve with each lesson. And in comparison to the rod and staff that she's been doing, this is going to feel like a breeze. Like, oh, what a nice summer break with this math. So we'll be doing subtraction facts that stick with my daughter. And with my son, we'll be doing multiplication facts that stick throughout the summer. So I think that they're going to really enjoy it. Like I said, we've done these before. My son has done the addition and subtraction. He's not done this one yet. But anyway, it's just it's a fun way to keep those math facts in your head. And so that's what we're going to do for math. And that will also be right in the morning with story time, because these really don't take long at all. And then we will also do after that cursive or handwriting. I have all of these extra practice sheets and copybooks left over from our Memoria Press box set that I ordered, that I do love, but it just came with a lot of stuff that I didn't end up using. But we're going to use it this summer, so it's all good. So we'll be doing more cursive and copywork. I'm actually going to be introducing the idea of a commonplace book to my son, who will be going into the 4th grade. And so I got him a nice moleskin notebook, because who doesn't love writing in just like a really wonderful notebook with good paper? I'm just going to introduce him to the concept when you're doing your reading just for pleasure. If a line strikes you as something that you want to remember, or you really liked that poem that you read or something like that, to write it down in here. And I know he's actually going to love this because he already does do that kind of thing on his own. Like, he likes to copy down facts from, world record books and history books and stuff that he just has in his room. So I know that this is going to be fun for him, and he's actually going to really like this. So I'm excited to give this to him pretty soon. So we'll do the Bible, read aloud, math, and handwriting, cursive, copywork. And that will basically be it for what we're doing every day throughout the summer. And hopefully that doesn't take longer than like an hour, hour and a half. Then after that, a few times a week, we'll be keeping up with Latin for my son, but we'll probably just do that by reviewing flashcards and writing a few sentences on the whiteboard and having him translate it back and forth, Latin and English. I have our Getting Started with Latin book that has a lot of those types of sentences ready to go. So I'll probably just pluck a few out of there each day so that he can kind of just practice translating in Latin. And we'll continue on with both of the kids with just their Pimsleur Spanish, because that's just something that they can do on their own in their room. If we're just kind of having a quiet afternoon, I'll have them go and practice their Pimsleur Spanish. So we're just going to keep up with that as well. But also what we're going to focus on, I'm very excited about this. I hear a lot about, I don't know if you're familiar with James White. Yes, with Alpha Omega Ministries. Well, I enjoy him. He's quite the character because I love all of his little different interests that he's in. And he is so interested and excited about the stars, astronomy, and he really recommends Jason Lisle. So I ordered some Jason Lisle books, like the Stargazer's Guide to the Night Sky, because where we live out here, we're out in the country in England, and the stars are so bright. And so I really want to spend a lot of time this summer gazing at the sky and mapping out the constellations and figuring out that together as a family. So I got a couple of Jason Lisle's astronomy, but I want to make sure I'm not saying astronomy books, so that we can learn constellations. The sky here has just been absolutely glorious. And so we're going to go outside a lot at night this summer and look at the sky. I also have ordered some art books. Like I got the, what's it called? Watercolor for absolute beginners. It was actually recommended. I was at the library the other day and I picked up the Well-Trained Mind, because I thought I had a copy, but I don't have one. I have the Well-Educated Mind. I didn't have the Well-Trained Mind. And anyway, it was a recommendation in that book. So I went ahead and ordered it because my daughter especially really loves to paint. So I got some watercolors for her, and that book is on its way. It should be here shortly. We're going to just enjoy doing some watercolor because that will also go along with the nature study that we will do. Another thing that I want to do this several times a week this summer is go on these long country walks. Now, I had never heard of this before I moved to England, but one of the things that I'm loving most about living here are the public footpaths. So there are public footpaths that will just go through people's farmlands and through woods, and you're walking through fields with sheep and cows, and it is so much fun. I love it. My kids love it. And it's just like walking is a part of the culture here. Even I remember I read the C.S. Lewis's trilogy. The first one it wasn't Paralandra. I cannot think of it. But when Ransom is walking, he was going on a walking tour or a walking vacation. That's a thing here. I want to make sure before we leave here that I walk the Cotswolds Way, which is a very famous route. The other day when I was at a thrift shop, I got this book, which is Literary Walks. I can go on a walk around, Walk with Jane Austen. So we're going to maybe work our way through this book, and I'm very excited about it. Anyway, so it just maps out where you can go and the footpaths to take to walk around where these authors lived, walks that they went on themselves. I'm super psyched about this. So we're going to do walks. I also downloaded an app called All Trails that wherever you are, you can just say like, where's the trail near me? And it will find a dozen for you. And it has just been so much fun. I actually have a hard time just being outside without a reason or a goal. I don't spend enough time outside on my own. So I'm like, okay, but what are we doing out here? What's going on? So I like the walk because it gives me a destination and something to accomplish. And then my kids also love it too, because along the way we just find lots of cool things. We see lots of birds and streams and bridges to cross and interesting things in these fields. So that's going to be super fun. That was kind of a lot. I hope I wasn't rambling, but I am just really excited for our summer plans together. We're going to be going on some trips. I'm wanting to look into doing a tour of Shakespeare sites and maybe even seeing a play, something like that. We also have on the books to go and tour a bunch of castles nearby. So it's going to be fun around here, and I will be sure to share it with you. I would love to know what you are doing this year with your kids that might be different from what you do during the regular school year. Let us know down below. That is always really fun to see what everybody else is doing too. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.